Well, basically, before starting about any program or writing any program related to data files, I would like to project important issues, that the need of data files. We know that whenever we write any program, we run it, the values of the variables or objects which are there created in the program, they are retained by the interpreter during the execution time only. As and when we come back to the program and run it again, the values which were used earlier in the previous execution, they could not be used for further execution. That means they are not permanently stored, they are temporarily in the processor's memory for the time being the program is being executed. So how to overcome such a situation? We have data files which we can use in Python programs to store data or information of text file or binary files in memory, and they will per- remain in memory uh, after their creation. So how to work on to data files, that we'll see in the coming coding. Now here I would like to start with that there is one file handle or file object. A file object is basically an object or a variable which stores the address of a particular file which will be used or which has been created. So, and the file is created by using the open function. So if you see here, FOB is the name of the file handle or the object. The open function, it makes use of myfile.txt, that means it's a text file, and this file will be created, and R is the mode in which this file will be opened and used. Initially, the requirement is the file must exist in memory if we want to read from the file. If this is not the case, then a new file will be created of the same name. And if you don't pass R as the default file mode, then the interpreter use it by default as R. That means the file will be opened in read mode. The next thing is, since we want to show the contents of the file whichsoever there, will be getting the various contents which are there in the file, and we will store them in content variable. So this statement content equals to fob dot read, the read command helps us for this purpose. It will read all the contents of the file which is attached with fob object, and those contents will be assigned as a string to content variable by this statement. The next, this print statement will print a message, the file contents are, and next we'll be using the print again, and the content variable has been passed here. So the whichsoever the values being assigned in the statement content equals to fob dot read, that string I was talking about, which was assigned to content, the string value will be displayed here in the print function. So that's what I was talking about. Next will be let's see a program which will help us to clear the use of open, read, and furthermore functions which could be used at the simple level. So we are going to write a program related to data file handling, students. Here I have written a statement f equals to open, and the arguments are sample.txt and r. That means I have opened this sample.txt file in read mode, or I can say that I have created a file, and I have assigned the reference of this file to f, and here f will work as a object, or I can say f will work as a handle of file handle. It will help us to process the file which we'll be using. Let's go ahead. Now the contents, I'm going to pass the contents of the file in content variable. So I will make use of read function here. Content equals to read, f dot read. Now since read is a function, I will call it with the help of f, which is attached to sample.txt. Next, I'll print the value of this content variable. So what will happen? The entire set of strings which are there in the sample.txt, that will be printed. Thereafter, need to close the file. Whenever you open a file, you also need to close it. It's must. It's like a general practice of using any file, that when you open a file, you need to close it also, and you can perform a kind of processing. So let's run it. What will happen if we run this code? It may not print anything or may not show anything, rather it may display a error message also, because the file doesn't exist. So we need to create a file. So what I'm going to do, I created a right clicked, and I'm going to perform the task of text file creation. Here new file I created, and I gave the name as sample.txt. So this will be the new file, and I'll write some contents in it. Remember, this is not a Python module, it's a text file. So let's write some information in it. Data, hello, how are you? And this file will be read from a Python program. The contents will be read from there. Enjoy file handling. So these are the contents of the data file now, and we'll switch back to the program code, and then we'll again run it. So let's run the code again. What will happen now? We'll see. The contents can be seen here in the window at the bottom, that hello, how are you? This file will be read from a Python program, because now this file exists in memory. Actually, earlier we attempted, or we tried to open the file, but since it was not there in memory, so the read function failed and nothing could be read from there, so nothing was printed. Now we afterwards we created file, and then we rerun it, then the change occurred. Now here we are making some change in the read function. I passed 5 here means number of characters to be read. If whatsoever number I will specify here, it will be the number of characters to be read. You can say that here I specified 20, then says hello, how are you, and th. It will also read /n, because /n refers to a end of line character, so will be counted afterwards. So let make some more changes in the same code to understand it better. Here the read function is performing the reading from the file. Contents are totally transferred to the content variable. We'll make use of a while loop, and will specify true keyword. So the true means till there are contents in the file, and the block of the while loop will keep on executing. Remember, true is a keyword, has to be written properly. So here the content variable gets value from the readline function, and this f.readline keeps on executing as many times there are data in the file, and every time the content variables value will be displayed. So now here what is happening, the unnecessary characters are being displayed. So what we'll make use of a break statement, the jump statement. Will place a condition that if the content is empty, it's a space character, then jump out from the while loop. So their way we'll get the solution will be out from the file.